In today's episode, we will be seeing the start of the Great European War happening amongst these European nations, the square team and the triangle team, while the circle team just tries to stay out of it, recruiting only four members on their team just to keep their team small but also to defend themselves. Now here we got the Balkan Union as the main power in the circle team, the French team as the main power in the triangle team, and then the red team as the main power in the square team. Now what we're going to see here is the square team has lots of power over here in this area, and it will be hard to manage the front lines in one color. So what we're going to see here is blue color for front line will be triangle team, and then red color will be the square team, the rectangle, because the main colors on here are going to be leading the offensive. Now I want everyone to realize that this is going to be the bloodiest war we've seen on this channel, and the biggest. So as soon as this war starts, it's going to start by the red team losing a few boats when they come down here to this island. I told you this island would be important. But they lose a few boats, and then they realize that. So they go for an invasion against the Swedes. Now this invasion will be mainly navally, but they do take that island first, and then they do start a slow push into here, grabbing up for some major cities, like any other country would do, creeping across here. Now they didn't expect this, so the pushback's gonna be a little bit late, but they are going to be pushed back and take this major city back. But the red team do have a proper front, and they basically just removed all their navy. The good parts of their navy. Now with the invasion from that island, that is perfect. It's gonna help them out a lot. But what we see here is these countries not being prepared. So the blue team countries are actually going to be pushed into. I mean red team countries. So we're gonna see a push like that. And then just the front lines are all unified. So what we're gonna see is a push, a unified push from all these countries just moving in here. And they're gonna liberate this country. But what we're gonna see here is their major power get taken out of the war fast. But the blue team, I'd say, is stronger. But if the red team plays this tactfully, they could easily overpower them. Now they just lost contact to their Iberian regions, so this region is completely gone, taken over by the red team. So Iberia capitulates. And that's really going to cripple the Cyan team. No country can sort of move through these Alps area. But what we're going to see here is a good blue push. No, we got to see this push. And they can't really move through here. It's going to be difficult for them. But what we see here is the triangle team push into the red-sided northern Italian team. Now, the northern Italian team is really suffering. So we're going to see another third-party war, which nobody's going to declare war on this country from the other team. It's a weaker country, and nobody really cares about this Italian team. So they're just going to take over the country like that. Bam. Nobody can complain. But what we're going to see here is the square team's actually going to do real good against another country, this Italian country, because of this. Hold up, let me get on the right layer. So what we're going to see here is just a push, cutting off the Italians, and their capital's right over here. So this is going to be a quick siege compared to other sieges. But bam, they're taken out of the war. Their capital is gone. They make a push into this country from both sides. They take out this country. Bam, Italian country's out of the game. And then they push into here from both sides. They capitulate. But what we're gonna see here is just the blue team just has better military. They ain't got nothing compared to the red team. The red team just has better logistics. This is going to be a logistical war, not a actual war where you actually gotta fight, and that matters. But the blue team has horrible logistics. They're just really powerful. So what we're going to see is the capitulation of those two countries. And then this. And then they're going to slowly free their occupied lands and their lands. But they really can't push through because of the power of the square team. Just logistical points, defenses are all gonna matter, especially around these mountains. I don't think there's really going to be a winner in this war. But they definitely just saved a country or two. Wait, is this country a part of? Yeah. No, they're not. So they don't need to lose anything. But what we're gonna see here is these few nations, they can't really do anything to attack the triangle team. So what we see here is an act of aggression. Like this. Now this is going to make more countries want to join the circle team just for that defense. But what we see here is these two countries get taken over, right? And then these two countries' governments are gone, completely assassinated. Now they're just a roadblock for each country. We might see a reformed Benelux country over here. That's just unifying them all. But they're also going to take over that small country that used to be a part of Germany. Germany was completely rolled over. So that's gonna suck. But now the Cyan team has completely lost their navy. They can't really do much. All they're relying on is supplies being sent from... Oh, they really have nobody supplying them. But what we're gonna see is them trying to push into the Benelux coast. But other than that, nothing much is gonna happen in this war except for this. The offense into the red team is going to be super successful. Now they completely lost naval advantages on the red team. But that don't really matter as long as they can keep to the coast. Their main goal is to reach out for cities. So they're going to go like this. That's how an actual war would work. Instead of just a unified front. Just multiple offensives. But what we're going to see here is the red team trying to make this front an actual front. A straight, perfect front where they can actively defend. Now, they still have a good navy, so that's going to really suck for the Swedes. And I don't know why they're all a different color. I can't even tell that's a different color, to be honest. That's weird. But now it should be easier to draw. So they're going to encircle their capital fully. And the green team, not green team, but the Swedes are actually going to make some good pushes, encircle this little area, push back, take a few of the major cities back. But they can't not unliberate, but they can't liberate every little area that they lost. So that's going to cost them a lot. So the red team's gonna use this as a symbol for that they need to push navally up in here. So they cut off them there. And I'm just gonna focus on this right here for a bit because I do think this is gonna be important. Whoever wins this dictates the entire war. These are two of the strongest countries in the world, not including this country. They're super weak right now. They're only relying on defenses. But what we're gonna see here is just this war dictate everything. And they're going to make more naval landings from their island, trying their best not to push too far, just make a pretty good established front where they could get all their troops just generalized. And then they're going to make a naval landing here, right next to their capital doorstep. Now, they can't really do much for defenses, so we ain't gonna see much, but they are going to push back. Try to separate them there. They try to do that, don't really work out for them, and they just densing up this front. But what we see here is the slow push into these cities. Now, this is going to take 5 years, so it's going to be known as the 10-year Great European War, or just Great European War. But after they took all their major cities, they begin to siege their capital. Encircling this and this capitulates, and they slowly push for that capital, slowly making some naval landings across here, and then they take the capital, just like that. The Swedes are knocked out of the war, for good. Now all we see is this French team lasting out, so they're gonna go ahead and surrender. So let's go ahead and look at this peace deal. Alright everybody, this is the peace deal. So now we see this green-ish country taking land from this country, which is a part of the square team. Just because they didn't win or lose, they just took this land. I know they invaded from there, took that, but they also wanted more. And then Iberia looks like someone messed up the borders. So we're definitely going to see a lot of fighting here. And that's going to be very interesting to watch. But here we see the occupied zones of the southern French team coming back and forming a country again. Here we see the French team over here minimally damaged, but that's because of how much damage they did over here. And then we see that Benelux country unifying with the country that was right here in this area. And they also took land from Triangle Squad members. But here we see the square team puppeting this country over here. And I'm gonna make this Swedish team a puppet. But right now, they're sorta not. I'm still working on drawing that. But as you can see, the outlines means they're a puppet of the country colored with the outlines. Not much happened with the circle team. They are gonna gain some members though. Like for example, this country might join. Or some old triangle team members might join. But nothing much really is gonna happen with this. I think a post-Great War Europe is gonna look super different, especially once we start getting into Africa and Anatolia, fully discovering Anatolia, and the Middle East. The Middle East is going to be cool. But I think after this, there's going to be a great need for expansion and discovery. So Discovery is going to kick off next episode with sort of boats, sort of colonizing the coast of northern Africa, which this Italian team right here is going to. need lots of funding and time to get to Africa, Northern Africa. But I think Northern Africa would be a great spot to sort of explore. Other than that, we also saw the division of the British Isles. There's still a little bit wrong with the borders, but I need to fix a little few things. Other than that, we're doing good. So I will see y'all next episode when we hit the age of expansion. Goodbye. I hope everyone has a good day and that they enjoyed this video.